Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the following AMC 8 2017 problem number 23. And let's start with a quick read. So each day for 4 days, Linda traveled for 1 hour at a speed that resulted in her traveling 1 mile in an integer number of minutes. Each day after the first, her speed decreased so that the number of minutes to travel 1 mile increased by 5 minutes over the preceding day. And since each of the 4 days, her distance traveled was also an integer number of miles, and so we're asked to find the total number of miles for the 4 trips. Okay, so with a question like this, the very first thing is making sure you have your units synchronized, right? So if we read here, we have 1 hour, but then everywhere else, we're talking minutes, 5 minutes, right? So let's convert this 1 hour to be 60 minutes, right? So 60 minutes, let's say. So it says basically Linda traveled for 60 minutes at a speed that resulted in her traveling 1 mile in an integer number of minutes. So let's say she travels X miles in. So basically, if we read this carefully, because it is a bit of a mouthful, the problem saying that each day after the first, her speed decreased by 5, and we also know that she travels 1 mile in an integer number of minutes, right? So basically, we basically have 1 mile in some X number of minutes, right? We have 1 mile in X minutes, and then they tell you that each day her speed decreased so that the time taken is increasing by 5 minutes. So day 1, it took X minutes. Day 2, it took X plus 5 minutes. Day 3 took X plus 10. Day 4 took X plus 15. Right? So these are all these are all times, right? And so if we basically have 60 minutes times 1 mile over X minutes, our minutes cross out, and we basically get she traveled 60 over X miles on day 1. And then using a similar logic, you have 60 minutes times 1 mile over X plus 5 minutes. So now you have minute and minute cancel, and you get 60 over X plus 5 miles. And then I'm not going to write out the others, but it's just the same logic, 60 over X plus 10 and 60 over X plus 15. And these are all in miles. So basically, we have 60 over X miles traveled on day 1, 60 over X plus 5 miles traveled on day 2, and then so on. And now lastly, to solve the problem, we see that each of the 4 days, her distance traveled was an integer number of miles. So that basically means each of my 4 fractions have to be integers, right? So 60 over X, 60 over X plus 5, 60 over X plus 10, and then 60 over X plus 15. These are all integers. And now we can see that all of these, you could play around with it, or you could notice that your denominators are always the same mod 5. And so that means that X should be a multiple of 5, right? So if X is 5, for example, we get 60 over 5, 60 over 10, 60 over 15, and 60 over 20. And if you kind of do this out, you'll see that these are all actually integers, 12, 6, 4, and 3. And so that means she traveled 12 miles on day 1, 6 miles on day 2, 4 miles on day 3, 3 miles on day 4. So if we read the question, they're asking us for the total number of miles for the 4 trips. So that's just the sum of 12, 6, 4, and 3. So if we do that out, you get 25 miles. And this is our final answer. So we would find the answer choice that's 25, which is C. And that would be all for this question. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It really helps us out. But that should be all for today. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you again tomorrow for another video. Bye.